All right, good morning, everybody. What is up? Welcome back to SGDQ 2025, Seafrog crew coming in hot. We're going to go ahead and get started with introductions. I am Jaxler. I'm going to be one of your runners this morning.
I'm iswimfly. I am the current world record holder, and I love routing this game. I love playing this game, but I'm pretty sure you know that by now.
Yeah.
Who's behind us?
Hello, my name is Ozmourn. I've played this game before, and I've gone through this route a few times, and I'm absolutely excited to be here and support iswimfly and Jaxler in what's going to be an absolutely amazing race. All need to stick around for this.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tight. And we have a whole entourage here.
On the couch,
Of
friends.
And speaking of entourage, we have a very special guest joining us from the power of the internet. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi everybody, I'm Mariano. I'm the lead programmer on Seafrog. I'm happy to be here, super happy to be here, and I'm excited for this run.
Let's
go.
Absolutely. Everyone give it up for Defcom.
Yeah. So if you have never seen Seafrog before, Seafrog is what I like to call a 2D skateboardvania. It's got like that Metroidvania layout to it, but with really cool skateboarding controls.
Yeah.
And so this is a Kraken % race. This is not like a full-length any % run. Our goal is to get to the first boss, the Kraken, from a fresh save as quickly as possible. Swimfly, are you ready?
I am ready. Really quickly before we start,
go ahead.
We have something to mention.
Right.
Actually, two things that I want to mention. One is that we actually have prepped these save files. I don't know what to call it, but there's something within the game where if you play through a save file through the tutorial and quit out before the end, it cuts out a bunch of tutorial prompts and saves you like, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds in total.
Yeah.
So we've actually prepped the save file a little bit. This is completely normal. Like this is allowed in Kraken %, and I would assume any %, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
This game is fresh, it's big, and we have not had time to route that entirely yet. And then the other thing I want to say really quickly is just thank you so much for meeting that incentive already.
Yeah.
That is insane that we didn't even get on stage and the incentive was already met. So at the end of this run, you will get that escape sequence, which is just kind of a little bit of like a run through of just everything the game has to offer in like a 3-minute sample platter. So with that being said, I've got everything I wanted to say out of the way.
You ready?
So let's go.
I've got one more incentive update really quick.
luck.
Go for it.
We have met the casual birder.
Let's go!
Incentive. Let's go.
Thank you, JR, so much.
All right. And without further ado, Oz, do you mind counting us in from 5?
Of course. Does the crowd want to help me? All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Good luck, Jaxler. Good luck.
All
Good luck,
right.
Swimfly.
Seafrog. Well, the first question about Seafrog is, what is Seafrog? And who better to answer that question than someone who worked on it? Shade, what is Seafrog?
Yeah, so Seafrog is a skateboarding-inspired action platformer. You use your rocket-powered wrench here to do tricks and do combos and all that to explore and repair these ships in the mysterious sea hole.
Yeah. This game has a lot of sauce. As you can see right here, the basic mechanics and basic movements are going to be skateboarding via the wrench. And the main mode of progression in this game, you are going to see our players here repairing these bolts that are leaking throughout all the ships. And this is going to be a main mechanic throughout every single ship that we see. We're going to go to 3 ships total if you include the tutorial one, which is the Hammerhead. But the main mechanic of progression is repairing all these bolts. The players have to repair all of them before they can move on to the next hull. And so this tutorial sequence is just showing them the basic mechanics of that. But as you can see, the skateboard does pretty much everything that you would expect a skateboard to do. It can ride, it can grind on rails and ropes, and you can do tricks with it, which will come in handy in one particular minigame that we're going to be doing later in the run.
Yeah, and so as we do tricks, it's going to give us points, which fills up our boost meter. So in addition to all this boost movement that you're seeing us do, we're also being very careful to manage the points that we're collecting along the way so that we have the boost in the tank to be able to do some cool strats here. So, do you want to talk a bit about golden barnacles and what those are for?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the golden barnacles are a secondary mode of progression in this game. We need 185 golden barnacles to move on from the tutorial ship, which is the Hammerhead, as we've been introduced to here. And the next ship that we're going to is called the Sea Dragon. And so our players here are going to be routing very specifically all of the different barnacles that they're going to get. As you can see, the barnacles can be on ropes, they can be on ceilings and walls, and we're going to get a few different modes that we can collect, a few different ways that we can collect barnacles faster, including these purple fish that will act essentially like treasure chests in this game that will give you an ambergris deposit, which will equal a total of 50 golden barnacles that Jaxler is actually going to get in this room right now. But between that, I would say like the thing that has changed the routing the most in this run as the run has evolved is being able to route the golden barnacles as tightly as possible. The less you are going out of your way for the golden barnacles, the better, because they're not quote-unquote inherently required to progress. Obviously, you need a certain amount, but they're not like the bolts where they're always going to be in a specific spot, and you have to get every single one of them in order to move on to the next room.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do a really cool little strat here in order to get some sea barnacles on this ceiling here. Oh, I accidentally paused, but okay, we still got it. So there's a lot of cool strats like that in this run where you boost up to a ceiling and then grab it by holding the grind button, and you can use that to fling yourself in the other direction. This game's got a lot of flexibility to its movements, so you can do some really cool stuff with it.
A lot of it is momentum-based, though, so it does make it very tricky and very punishing if you do not get what you were looking for.
Exactly. If I had to rate this game in terms of sauce, we said it was like a nice Chianti, perhaps a plate of ribs, if you will. No, it has a good amount of sauce to it, and it's really satisfying to play.
So now, Jaxler and I are into the first ship, the Sea Dragon. This is the one that we are going to be fully progressing and defeating the Kraken at the end of. This first hull is, I'll say that first real example of progressing further into the ship by collecting all the bolts. There are two ways you can interact with bolts, which you're going to see me do when I come out of this room. You can either spin on them by holding down X or square, depending on your controller. I forget what the button is on keyboard because we don't use keyboard. That being said, you can also just tap the button, and if you are within range of a bolt, it will kind of like slingshot you. So you're going to see that right here from me, hopefully to get to the ceiling. There we go, and get that snake stone. That snake stone is worth 10 golden barnacles, so it's worth it to just go grab it from me.
Yeah, so we actually have very slightly different routes that we do in terms of the snake stones that we grab, and it's kind of a runner preference sort of thing.
Yeah, there's so much in this game that having slightly different routes doesn't punish you too much.
Yeah, so even if it looks like one of us is ahead or ever so slightly, it might just be because of one of those routes.
I mean, yeah, the lead has changed twice within the past like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So goes to show how tight of a race this is going to be.
We're actually going to have a big difference coming up later in this hull, but in the meantime, we're about to enter a score attack room, where essentially we have to entertain the computer in there. His name is Gunter. He's awesome. We love Gunter. He is looking for the Excite, so we're going to give him the Excite by scoring as many points as possible. And with that being said, I think we have a little bit of time for messages from the host, because this is going to be 30 seconds of just us getting points, and there really isn't much to it other than just keeping our combo. So host, if you have any messages, feel free.
Absolutely. I've got $50 from PZ Goes Live at iswimfly. Proud of all you endured and accomplished to get to the SGDQ big stage. Honored to support you. Love, Dad.
Thank you, Dad.
Aww.
Let's go, Dad. Not my dad, obviously. That one's yours.
You have a little bit more time for
one more.
For sure. I got $7 from Anarchy. I used to have hoop dreams
until I found out there were other ways to score.
Just kidding, but I'm not kidding about how awesome it is to be friends with all these amazing people on stage. Shout out to the When to Meet and good luck, have fun.
Thank you, Anarchy.
Go. All right, so as you can see, 600 points is enough to get the key for progression in this particular auto-scroller with Gunter, but our players try to get 1,200 points so that we can get a free Ambergris deposit, and so since that is essentially 30 seconds every single time, you can't speed it up, why not go for an Ambergris deposit right there? Save up some rounding.
Yeah, so this room is probably going to be the biggest difference between what me and Swimfly do. I'm going to go ahead and grab this Ambergris deposit and then also pick up a manual that's going to allow me to do manual tricks, which allows me to keep my combo. It's, I think, technically a little slower to do it this way, but I find for my playstyle, it really enables me to maintain those boost chains, and especially going into like the boss fight, for example, I find it really helpful.
Yeah. So yeah, like it's gonna look like Swimfly is pretty in the lead after this, but that could easily be mitigated by the fact that Jaxler picked up that.
There's a couple skips that are coming up that are going to be really, like, I'll say run deciding to an extent. There's one in this room that's a little less, like it's a little more lenient. There's one in the next big room, the next big hull, that is going to be a very serious time save if we can hit it, but it is a very tricky skip to go for.
Yeah.
We can talk about that when we get there, though.
Of course.
This is a teleporter. We did not talk about this in our practice comm, so I want to make sure to mention it. Hitting that switch allows me to teleport back to this room later. We need the bolt in there. Yes, the rat's in the wall!
Yeah! Wall rat!
Wall rat! So when you leave the first room you enter in the first sub-room you enter in Hull C, the Ratty Godmother spawns. Sometimes she spawns in the wall. So every now and again when that happens, Jaxler and I pop off because we just love to see it.
That's just a blessed run right there. So the Ratty Godmother, you cannot skip this sequence, although it does reward us with a chip that we're going to be using called the Reckless chip, which allows us to get a bit more height on our tricks if we need for specific tricks that will be necessary. However, it does remove 1 heart. I know that our players are going to be equipping them in different orders, but as long as they play well, it doesn't really matter what order you put them in. But while we're here, I do want to ask our developer Shade, how did the progression of the movement system in this game kind of come to be, and what are like the different iterations of it? Because the movement in this game, as someone who's played it and as the people who speedrun it on stage, it is some of the most satisfying movement I've ever seen in like a 2D platformer.
It really is.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I went through a ton of iterations. Early on, it was much more like physical, much more like realistic in the sense of how when you contacted surfaces, you would your momentum would be more realistically transferred to surfaces, and after a while we find that like it doesn't feel that great. So it needs to feel a little more arcadey, a little more gamey, and that really kind of makes it feel the best.
Heck yeah.
nice.
So I just did something called Blue Gear Skip. Normally you were supposed to acquire a blue gear in this room, and it unlocks a grind rail behind you that allows you to progress to the room that I'm currently in. However, we discovered with a bit of fine movement, you can just skip it. You can see that rail in the background.
We're going to see a Jaxler do it right here.
Jaxler,
Let's go.
I jumped. I got scared. I got scared.
He technically did get it, though.
I did get it. Give me just 1 second here to lock in so I don't miss this.
Yep. Oz, do you want to explain Rat Skip that's coming up? Because I'm about to get to Rat Skip. I got 1 room and then probably the hardest skip in the entire run.
Yeah, the Rat Skip is it's a skip.
There we go. Okay.
It's a skip we've been a little scared about throughout our practice runs, only because of how much of a determining factor it can be, because of, first of all, how long it takes if you mess it up, but also just how much setup goes into it in general. What Swimfly is going to be doing here is that they're going to be going into this room and actually getting another chip called the Hasty Heart chip, which is necessary for the skip. I mean, not inherently, but it makes our lives a lot easier because we can try it again. But the Hasty Heart chip, in combination with the Reckless chip, will give us enough height and distance to make this possible. So what Swimfly is going to be doing is they're going to be lining up a specific enemy, a rat, and taking damage from the rat in order to take advantage of its invincibility frames and essentially skip an entire portion of platforming and collecting these gears that would otherwise open up a rail to get up to the same platform that we're going to be going to. Swimfly is going to be doing it right now. So let's see if they can get it. A little bit of silence because this is a pretty difficult one. First try, let's go!
Good job.
That's big.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
Essentially taking advantage of the invincibility frames that they get from that rat, going up that ramp, getting a perfect jump to get extra height, and then getting onto the wall to have spikes on it while those invincibility frames are still active, and then going onto the platform that they just went on to in order to progress to the rest of the level. It has a really tight timing. There is a bit of margin for error in that particular trick, and so it's not like frame perfect levels of difficult or anything, but it's still a pretty difficult trick.
All right, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to go do it now, so I'm going to ask for some quiet time from the room as well.
Good luck, good luck.
Good luck.
Oh, the rat hit me. Okay, I gotta. I get less of a shot at this, so okay, here we go. Oh, I got torched. Oh, that's so unlucky.
It's all right. Jaxler does have a backup here because like you can keep doing it as long as you have enough health. And so, as Swimfly said, we have to. Swimfly unlocked a fast travel point earlier. That is pretty much the only time that we're going to be seeing us go back to the main tutorial ship, the Hammerhead. The only other time would be if one of our players
Are
dies,
you serious? Okay, I
think
think I have to go get the gears now, unfortunately.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Dang, that's really rough.
Yeah. But getting the gears is still faster than dying.
Yeah.
And it's also faster now. Shoutouts to Shade. Actually, we forgot to mention with Rat Skip as well, there was an update to the game recently that changed when you get invincibility frames. You essentially are actionable sooner, but the same amount of invincibility happens. So the timing on Rat Skip actually got a little more lenient recently. And with that update, I believe it was that update. It might have been an update after that. Shade, you can correct me if you know off the top of your head. We gained the ability to hold up to 5 items at once. Originally, when we first started doing this, we were only allowed to hold 1 item at once, which played a huge part in our routing. but now it plays a different part in our routing, but now we can hold the 5 items. So now I've got one of the 3 Viking runes, we should probably talk about that soon, as well as the second purple fuse, which you saw me get one of them back in Hull D, the last big room we were in. So yeah, Oz, you can feel free to explain that while I finish.
Of course, yeah. The ability to carry multiple items at a time does help a lot, and of course it also goes to show that this skip is very difficult that they just did. And so if you are a beginner and you want to like try out this run, but maybe rad skip is a bit too difficult, it doesn't save that much time, especially with the ability to carry multiple items at once. And so you can definitely do runs without it. But the particular Viking runes and the fuse that Iswimfly just picked up, the Viking rune is going to come in handy later, but the fuses are to activate this generator that will bring down this fish. There's going to be one hull that we're going to be going into that it's for later, but it also picks up an ambergris deposit right here that we're going to be going through.
This will get me over the threshold to get to the next ship to unlock the other things. We have to unlock the second ship because one of the 3 Viking runes that we need to progress is on that second ship. So I'm going to save and quit out now that I have all my ambergris. And go back in, and this puts me back at the start of the hammerhead in a really nice spot, so I can just dump all my stuff in and get on with progression. So I think we have a little bit of time with the hosts if you'd like to read out some messages, because there's going to be a little bit of time just here.
Yeah.
Oh, gladly. I have got $5 from Satan herself. Let's go bingo!
Let's go bingo!
I have been Seafrog and Jaxler and Swimfly's biggest fan since day one, and I'm so hyped it's here. Your fight for record has been legendary offline, and this run is legendary right now. Happy Trans Rights Tuesday! Woo! Also got $25 from Comfy Panda. Had to donate during a Jaxler run. Always a highlight of GDQ. Crush this race!
Thank you so much. That's so nice of you.
All right, so now we are at the Chunky Chakin, which conveniently was also my nickname in high school. And so
You did it.
And so the Chunky Chakin, we're only here for 3 main things. Only one of which is inherently necessary to progress, which is the other Viking rune that Swimfly mentioned earlier. But we're getting 2 abilities that'll help with movement a lot, which we'll mention when we get there. But as the Chunky Chakin implies, this entire ship is chicken themed, and that does lead me to a brief question that I wanted to ask our developer. What made you land on the different themes for all different ships?
Yeah, so it was really just trying to find something weird or interesting, and kind of going off of at least it's all from my partner Tyler's brain, where at least for him, for the chicken chip, it was just came from his disdain for fast food, and like
Fair enough.
you know, and I think of farming practices, and we're like, let's make like a killer, fast food chicken chip where all the chickens want to kill you and everything, and that's where the Chunky Chakin came from. As for the Sea Dragon, which were the main part of the run is on, that one came mainly from the mechanics, and the theme for that mainly came from the mechanics when it comes to the core of the Viking rune, or the Viking horn that you use to activate certain objects. We'll see later on.
Nice. Okay. And Swimfly got an item, and they're about to get another item right here in the Chunky Chakin. You want to explain those?
Yeah, so the Rocket Wrench is a power-up that you get, similar to how Jaxler said, that Metroidvania aspect of things, where if I press the B button, I get that dash forward that you saw me do a little bit. And then the chip that I just picked up is the Magwalls chip. The Magwalls chip allows me to stick to those blue walls in the background. There are 3 different types of magnetic surfaces. We're not going to see any more in this run. However, because we met the incentive, we will get to see all 3 in some form in the final escape sequence. Yeah.
And only the Viking rune is inherently required to beat the final boss, but getting the...
I'm sorry, somebody told me they also noticed that chicken just absolutely tweaking out there. That was crazy.
Yeah, he was like out for blood. The only one that's inherently required for progression is the Viking rune, but the Rocket Wrench, in addition to the magnet chip, saves a lot of time, and so it's really useful to go out of your way, especially because they're not that out of the way to get.
The Rocket Wrench is so nice in this run because you only have to do rat skip once.
Right.
In Hole D again now. You'll see it in a few seconds once I get out of this room.
Yeah, you'll see me pick it up here in just a moment. Okay, I got it. I'm just like, I'm getting like owned by the game in like every conceivable way this run. It's like, I'm like kind of mad, but it's also like really funny. So it's like, there we go. There's my Rocket Wrench. Jesus Christ. All right, sorry, continue.
So There's a rocket wrench, so I don't have to do rat skip again, which thankfully you only have to do the hardest trick once, which is really nice. And now I'm going to be turning in all my Viking runes and getting the Viking horn. Shade, do you want to take it away on what the Viking horn does?
Yeah, so once you activate here the 3 runes, you get access to the Viking horn, and that lets you, as you hold it, it has an aura to it that activates certain objects that are ghostly, that you couldn't, that were incorporeal before. And yeah, there's some consequences that come with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to see those consequences pretty quickly. We're going to get a Viking friend here who, whenever we have the horn, as well as just at any given point in the final boss fight, will just kind of chase us down and try to kill us, which is
Definitely.
not ideal.
Yeah.
You can actually negate this in a couple ways. In the very next hull, I'm actually going to throw away the horn for a little bit. As long as you're not holding the horn, the Viking will not spawn. So
Yeah, but if you let go of the horn in the middle of a room while you, like, the Viking ghost will still chase you even if you don't have the horn anymore on you, which is, I feel like, anticlimactic to what their point is supposed to be, but
no,
like,
but you still,
their objective.
As long as you had the horn at the start of the room and
Yeah.
they spawn, they will remain going after you
No, yeah.
until you drop the horn. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop the horn immediately. I'm going to throw it ahead of me, grab a bolt, which just changes where the Viking is going to spawn in this room, which just makes the next few bolts I'm going to grab so easy.
Yeah.
So you'll see.
Yeah,
here.
and I have a completely different way of doing the room too, and that's like kind of the cool thing, right? Is like, oh, okay, I'm gonna shut up because I like talk for one moment and then I curse-plode, and it's really not the vibe today.
Yeah.
So there was me throwing the horn. It didn't go as far forward as I wanted it to, but now the Viking will spawn here with enough delay that I can just grab these two, and now we're done with the horn. The horn is just gone for the rest of the run.
Yep.
That entire side quest. Okay, to be fair, in in fairness to the game, the horn does more. It's just in this run, there are not any more required bolts or rooms we have to go into that need the horn. So why get chased around by an angry Viking when I can just drop the horn and keep going?
Yeah, exactly. And the AI for the Viking ghost is consistent. If you do the same thing every time, the Viking ghost will do the same thing every time, and that extends to the final boss. But unfortunately, we do have the human error aspect, and so if you mess up a few movement styles, the behavior of the Viking ghost can be a little bit unpredictable if you're not used to it.
Yeah. This is the last hull before the boss area in general. So, host, if you have any more messages, I think now is a pretty good time to do things while I just clean up these bolts.
Yeah, no, it's
Oh, I got you.
Ow.
$25 from Caspi. Is that the wonderful, amazing iswimfly and the ETNA podcast, Jaxler? Good luck to you too. You're both crazy amazing. Less than 3.
Thank you,
you so
Caspi.
We've got $15 from Shovel Claws. Yo, wanna hop on Maher?
Yes, Claus, when?
So proud of you, Swim, having this game go from me sending a random message to being absolutely carnage is so amazing. Less than 3.
Yeah, I really got to give it to Swimfly here. You know, obviously, we both have been grinding the absolute crap out of this game, but Swimfly has pushed this game to another freaking level, and I'm so happy I get to do this with you, homie.
I like routing puzzle.
Yeah.
But likewise, I'm glad I had someone to bounce ideas off of and work with. It's been a pleasure pushing this game with you.
Absolutely.
That being said, I'm approaching the final boss fight. Not really close to time yet, but time will be when I grab the gear at the end of the boss fight. Just figured I'd put that out there. I will go for your thing.
You're going to go for my thing?
Come on.
You're the homie for going for that. That starts sucks. I found it in the practice room about 8 hours ago, and it kind of sucked. So I'm actually going to do this room a little bit different than Swimfly does, where I'm going to go down immediately and just turn in the key, and I have a specific movement chain that I do in order to manipulate the Viking lady instead, because Valhalla is kind of cringe, so trying to avoid that here a little bit. Okay, that's fine.
That being said, I'm now at the Scracken. Shade, do you want to explain how the Scracken works?
Yeah, so the Scracken is mythical being that has some history with the Viking ship. He's kind of taken it over, and you're gonna see a lot of tentacles floating around and trying to take out our players as they move around the environment, trying to get that golden gear.
Yeah, so the main way you attack the Skraken is by interacting with the little windows that it appears in. So the movement is always predetermined in the sense that the Skraken will always go to the same place every single time. So this is kind of a really cool end of the run of just like, if you get it right, the movement is just so clean. Like doing that little wraparound right there is so smooth.
Yeah.
So the boss fights in this game are all really well designed, but I love the Skraken the most because of its determined, like it's always the same path, and just the design of this room is so fun because like you can do this and kind of ride those golden, they're kind of like bolts, but you can't spin on them. You can only do that launch that I talked about earlier. But this movement's just so sick.
It is, and I will say the hardest thing about learning this boss, starting out, is having to deal with the Viking Ghost AI and their behavior throughout the run. Because again, if you make mistakes, the AI can be a little bit unpredictable. But for players experienced like Swimfly and Jaxler, that doesn't cause much of an issue because again, the Ghost will do the same thing every single time. So as long as your movement is consistent, it should work out.
I am now going to be approaching time. It is not when the health bar drains. It is going to be when I grab that master gear, that little thing on the monocle. I'll call it out, of course, but just figured I'd let you know. Ow.
I'm like dangerously low health going into this boss. Do I just YOLO it, or do I go take the heal for safety?
You could take the heal.
I would recommend taking the heal for safety.
So there's going to be a cutscene. I'm going to grab the master gear, and then that's time.
Wait, there's no heal over here. I'm thinking of the wrong room.
You can use the teleporter if you want.
Nah.
Well, I guess we're just...
Oh, wait, no, there's
a heal right there. There
we're so back. Okay, we're so back.
And for me, that's time. A sub 24 on stage?
That's crazy.
That's
I never
wild.
Even if I didn't get like destroyed by the game, I never had a chance.
That's less than 20 seconds off world record.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
That's less than 20 seconds off my PB. That's so big.
I feel slightly less bad. Still a little bad, but slightly less bad. All right, let me see if I can go for that strat I was talking about.
Yeah, come on, hit it. Come on.
One more time. One more time.
Another go.
For the people.
Yeah! There's a version of that just like sends you right into the barrel with the bolt. But that strat sucks.
So yeah, that is Seafrog Kraken %. I mean, Jaxler's going to do the boss fight again, probably with a little bit of different movement, so you'll get to see that, which is really cool. I mean, like, it's cool that this game is still fast. Like, we're within 20 seconds of each other, but we do so many different things. Like, it's so cool.
I know it doesn't look like I'm within 20 seconds of Swimfly right now, but it's like...
No, but other stuff happens.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. I have never gotten so abysmally owned in my entire life. Like, I have gotten so... Not some, like, never before seen before, like, never happened before type of stuff. We can't run that bit, unfortunately, because it has happened to me before. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, everything has happened.
Everything has happened. I have seen the seams of the universe. But...
All right.
I'll just go ahead and lock in here so I don't, like,
good luck.
completely beat
we'll handle
this.
it, no worries.
Host, if you have any messages, feel free.
For sure. I've got $25 from Jackalaka.
Hi, Jack.
3 things to know about Jaxler. He's an amazing friend, an incredible speedrunner, and he likes the wall. Proud of you, man. Yeah.
I like the wall.
Got $10 from Perk. Divorce. Oh, sorry.
Let's go divorce.
Wrong game. Best of luck to my pal Jaxler.
Shout out to the Perk, absolute homie. All right, took a hit there, but that's fine. Luckily, there's like enough spots where you can get refill HP here. So we got a couple more hits here, and I think I'm gonna attempt. I know you showed me the safer way of doing this, but I'm gonna try my
fun way.
I'm gonna go not like the funnest fun way, but I'm gonna do like my way, like
Okay.
like this way.
You're going the wrong way.
Yeah, I am going the wrong way, but we'll just take the damage. Oh, I am going the wrong way.
Yeah, it's on the right.
Yeah, you're right. I jumped the gun really bad. I'm just all over the place this run. My apologies. There we go.
One step ahead, Jaxler. One step ahead.
And that was not the...
Because now it's going where you want.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Okay, so... Geez, and the tentacle despawned too. Oh, my good lord. This game hates me today.
It's all good. You got 2 hits left.
And it sucks too, because I got like a 24, like, 09, like, in practice. Okay, this is the thing I was
Okay,
talking
we're leading
about.
up to the final hit here.
Oh, I didn't quite get that. Oh, this is very funny. I'm going to take the hit. Don't worry about it. Oh, no! The worst part too is I told our producer we were gonna go like 10 minutes under estimate. We'll give it.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll give it.
We have time.
I do have time. Unfortunately, God, this sucks. You know what? We have plenty of time for. I'm just stalling.
Everyone
for
give some love to Jaxler.
Yeah.
This is hard.
This is embarrassing.
It's a hard boss.
It is a hard boss, but I'm also just. I've just been all over the place with this. Like, it's just been a really weird outlier run for me. So, JR, take it away.
Yeah, while we're getting back.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
$10 from Sega Star. Hi, Jaxler. You've been a great friend of mine, and I'm happy to catch another run of yours.
Likewise, dude. Thank you so much.
Got another $10 from Wojo42. Hey, Jackson Swim. Watching this route develop over the past few months has been a joy. I'm so glad that y'all are able to showcase this on the GDQ stage. Frog games are best games.
True.
People have been saying this.
Shoutouts to Wojo for being one of the people who like introduced us to the game alongside Shovel Claws.
Yeah.
I remember being in a call with Wojo for like my first playthrough for like 90% of it and just like chilling, enjoying the vibes, and just seeing what we could come up with. It was so cool. So again, shoutouts to Wojo and shoutouts to Claws earlier.
And shoutouts to SH. You know who you are.
Yeah. Anyways, we got a little more time, so feel free to keep going.
Yeah. No, I really screwed the pitch with this one, so go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Before I get to the donations, we have opened up another incentive for Sonic Adventure 2, adding Big the Cat checks.
Ooh.
Let's add everyone's favorite Sonic character, Big the Cat, to the checklist.
I love
the
Big the
Sonic
Cat.
Adventure
Big
2
the Cat.
randomizer. Big the Cat,
Big the cat, Big the cat, Big the cat.
All right, we're back. We're back at the boss.
round two.
All right, luckily we don't have to talk to the Valhalla lady this time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have been really rough.
And with full health, this will go a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing is I had full health going in last time.
Okay. I forgot.
I got caught up in the emotions of the moment.
I forgot that you. I forgot that you refilled. Yeah, for the boss. Well, good. Yeah.
There you go.
I'm just gonna go ahead and proc this tentacle just so it's in a better spot for later.
Got time for one more?
Go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I've got $25 from Lecta and Tarl. What a delight to see Lecta's favorite runner, Jaxler, running yet another game we've never heard of.
Come on.
Our friend JR killing it on the mic. Love you, JR. Donation to Casual Bird at 100%. Let's go, birds.
Let's go, birds.
All right, we're not going to go the wrong way this time. But with that donation, I do want to say as well, I want to make sure that after this run, we just like absolutely flood the Steam page. I believe this game is on sale.
It's 35% off on Steam right now.
Yeah, please get this game. It is such a steal. Good. It's so good. There's so much content that you're not, like, we're just not.
There's a whole other ship we're not even going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 1.5. We only went through like the first 2 holes.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to take the safe strat here just because I messed up my manipul. Oh, I don't have.
You don't got no boost.
I don't got no boost. All right, we're
doing this a bit unorthodox, but we're getting there.
I'm going to take the damage there on purpose.
All right, this is the last hit.
There we go. There's literally.
All right, let's go.
Nothing could go wrong there.
Time is coming up for Jaxler.
Yeah, it's on gear collect, so get ready on time for me. So we got Valhalla Lady again, who's going to offer us things, which I'm not going to give her because she has been so goddamn rude to me this run. All right, get ready on time. And time. All right. Still 5 minutes under estimate.
We're not done yet.
We are not done yet. Thank you so much for your generous donations. We are actually going to show off, as like every good Metroidvania has, we have a final escape sequence that we are going to go ahead and go straight into, actually. So we're going to go ahead and load up a 100% file that has...
Metroid who?
Metroid who?
Okay, one question though really quickly. That 2330, is that accurate? Like, is that when time was called?
Okay.
It might be a little... We'll have to go back and check.
Because my record is a 2338. So if that's accurate or within 8 seconds, that is world record.
Well,
yeah.
We'll have to watch it back. We'll have to watch it back.
We'll have to watch it back and see. But that's awesome to be even that close on stage. That's awesome.
Check the tapes.
Just gotta check the tapes.
Make sure you get your boost up before you go in the pipe.
So, okay, while we're getting boost up, we can talk about the escape sequence. So once you get all 3 of those master gears, as well as enough golden barnacles to power up your cannon, you reach power level 4 and are able to shoot up to the Albatross, which is that ship that Jaxler is aiming at, and I am now aiming at as well.
Yeah, we have not started time yet, by the way.
Time does not start yet.
Yeah, there is a specific dialogue box that we're going to, just so that we're all on the same page here, but both of us are gonna lock in. We have like maximum boost set up and some extra HP and some extra fuel in the tank. So you're gonna get to see like what the peak of this game's movement potential is gonna look like.
Yeah, and a little bit of a sampler. The gist of this is, well, Shade, you want to explain what happens?
Yeah, we need a lore update from the dev.
Yeah.
We need lore.
A lore update. Let me see. Yeah, so this is kind of the source of all your issues here in the game. Here, the
great
gigantic
sea worm.
the great sea worm, and this is just your final moment here to finally actually make it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see if I can redeem myself here. Do you want to count me in?
Yeah, of course. Crowd wants to tell me again? All right. From 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All
Okay,
right.
so this is kind of a mashup of every single ship in the entire game. So we start out in the Hammerhead, we're going to go to a little bit of the Sea Dragon, then we're going to see the Chunky Chakin, and then the one we did not see is the Sweater Factory. So we're going to see a little bit of all of those in this section here, but like Jaxler said, we are on a max boost setup, so we're just kind of going as fast as the game will literally let you go. I'm going to be going for a crazy skip here that I completely missed, and I'm going to be going for the backup instead.
This is going to be real quick because the game gives you 4 minutes to escape, which is about 2 minutes too much for our runners here.
Whew, that was a good save. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
That was a crazy sequence right there for
Yeah,
me.
the escape sequence has like some of the wildest strats I've seen ever. To preserve momentum and also to get up to ramps and onto the ceiling for a lot of these.
Oh, that's a little slow.
Yeah. We're good though.
Ow. I got hit by saw blades.
Felt.
Right.
Accidental. You gotta be really careful with the rocket boost, especially because if you do it wrong, you can just bonk and you feel really bad about yourself.
Our players are about a minute off from escaping.
Yeah.
I can get the ramp.
Oh, this is gonna be tight.
It's gonna be close. So this is the Lil Flame. Lil Flame is a section of the Chunky Chakin that we did not get to see, and now it's gone.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of him
Right.
early there so we can go ahead and use one of those ice blocks as a ramp. And now we're headed into the Sweater Factory section here, so.
A little bit of a
Alright.
struggle there for me with the bubble, but it's all right.
It's all good. We're very close to time. This is very tense.
I did not have enough boost. Uh-oh. I
All
gotta go
right,
back down and back up.
Oh, that is time for
me.
Jaxler.
Okay.
And Swimfly is very close behind.
I'm gonna call time, but I'm gonna do something a little fun to just have a little bit of entertainment during during shoutouts.
Oh, I know what you're gonna do. They were doing this earlier.
And that's time for me.
That's time, but
I'm gonna go mess around for a little bit while we do shoutouts. So Jaxler, if you want to take the floor, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to shout out to the devs of Seafrog for making such a freaking cool game. Thank you, Shade, for joining us on the mic. And yeah, Swimfly's out. Don't worry about it. I wanna shout out all of my friends who have been supporting me this week, and just the people who continue to care about what I do and what I speedrun. So thank you so much. Thank you to Oz for commentating as well and being a legend. And thank you for Swimfly for pushing me so hard with this game, and just like us like trading record back and forth and just kind of having that story has been so much fun.
Heck yeah.
And I'm so glad I get to share the stage with you this time around. So
Likewise.
I also want to shout out the Even Though Nobody Asked podcast. This is a podcast I am a part of with myself, DE Cosmic, who you'll see later this event, Nastani, and Coley_02. You can find us on youtube.com/Even Though Nobody Asked. And then find me at twitch.tv/Jaxler1.
It's been a pleasure to share the stage with you, Jaxler, with this game. I want to shout out Shade and Tyler M, who are like the two, I'll say, people I've interacted with the most from the Seafrog team, but everyone who's on the Seafrog team at Oh My Me Games. This has been such a fun game to play with just casually, to mess with in a speedrun setting. Can't wait to route any percent. We just did not have time.
Yeah.
My life got really busy right before GDQ, so as much as I wanted to, I didn't really have the time to, but I had time to do this. So thank you so much for accepting Kraken Percent in the first place. This has been such a pleasure. Shout outs for me. I want to shout out my family for putting up with me for all of this. Getting here has been an ordeal for all of us, but we're through it, and I'm so grateful to be here in Minneapolis with everyone at SGDQ. Shout out to all my friends who put up with my hyperfixations, both here and watching online, probably. I hope. Beyond that, I think that's really it for shoutouts for me. You can find me at twitch.tv/iswimfly556, iswimfly.bsky.social. I hope I will be less busy after GDQ, so I want to pick up any percent, and I want to pick up more runs. I've got so many games that are coming out that I'm looking forward to speedrunning. So that's where you can find me. Oz, I'll pass it off to you if you got anything.
No, just thank you both so much for having me on commentary. It was absolutely a blast. I had so much fun, and I'm very excited to be working with y'all more in the future on whatever runs you're working with. And any last words from our dev?
Yeah, I mean, thank you guys so much for playing, for, you know, getting this game on stage and putting so much time into it. It's amazing to see, you know, people put so much effort into this little thing that we made, and yeah, it's really great. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to shout out to my family, and I just want to say that Seafrog is on sale right now for the Steam summer sale.
Yeah, please buy this game. It's so good.
Let's give it up one more time for the Seafrog in our heads. Shade, thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you for making an amazing game.
Swimfly, I got an update for your time if you'd like.
All right.
It was a 23:51.
Okay. Gotcha.
Fair.
So
Very close.
Very close.
Very close.
Within like 15 seconds, it's
That's
crazy
still
on stage.
crazy. Lastly, there is a Discord, speedrun.com/Seafrog, if you want to join our Discord, if you want to learn any of these strats, or just come hang out with a bunch of people who think this game is really cool, which
We'd
is
be more than
all of
happy to
us.
teach you, and you're more than welcome to contribute when we start routing any percent, which should happen soon because I want to play this game more.
Yeah. All right, we got more awesome runs coming up next. Make sure y'all stick around. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, STDQ, for coming out this morning.
Thank you for doing
Catch
it.
you all next time. Later.
Bye.